Let's go back to Discord and hear from a few more people. davidpakman.com/Discord is the place to go. Let's go to Genio from Chester, I guess. It's a very complicated thing, or I don't know which is the name and which is the location. Genio, welcome.
Hi, David. How are you?
Doing well.
Awesome. Great to speak to you again. I just hopped on, so I didn't have a question ready.
Oh, boy.
What do you think? Are you a fan of Shaun King, the activist?
No, I'm not.
Oh, what are your reasons for that?
I don't want to make this a whole thing.
That's okay.
Listen, I'm trying to figure out how to do this without like saying things that aren't public. My understanding is that there's a sizable grift going on there, and it's never been my sort of activism that I've seen him engage in. And honestly, I didn't think he was active anymore. I haven't heard anyone mention his name for years. I mean, maybe he's still doing stuff, but I thought that he had kind of gone silent some years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on Instagram, and I don't think he's as big as he was, but yeah, that was my question for today. Thank you so much. Love your show.
All right, there goes Genio. Hopefully that doesn't get me into any trouble. Who the hell knows these days? Anything can get you into trouble. Why don't we go next to John from Salt Lake City, Utah, the center of the Church of Latter-day Saints. John, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today?
Yeah, so I just have one question. What do you think of the recent news that apparently some Russian partisans invaded Russian city of Belgrade? Do you
Didn't
think
see
like
that.
possibly there could have been like our special forces in there, or maybe encouraging them, training them, something like that?
I have not heard of that at all. I'm going to have to research that. When did this happen?
This was like, I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Geez, no, I haven't seen that yet. And so the idea is that it may not be what it actually appears to be.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is maybe they got training from like NATO forces in order to do something like that, or like they're like directly involved in a way. You get what I'm saying?
That's interesting. So what I'm reading is it seems Russia has not invaded, but rather Belgorod, the Russian border region, was attacked by an armed group crossing from Ukraine. There's a couple sources saying that. Russia accused Ukraine of being responsible. Ukraine denied it and said the attackers were Russian citizens from paramilitary groups that oppose Putin. It seems we really don't know right now what the truth is. That's what I'm gathering, John.
Because from what the pictures that I've seen, it looks like it could have been equipment that we donated. I saw a couple Humvees in there.
Yeah, listen, that's so speculative. I just don't know. I would be cautious about making any definitive statements right now.
I mean, I don't want to really like hop on one bandwagon or the other. I just want to like see a little bit more details. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I want to know the truth of what happened. From what I'm seeing, I'm looking at 5 sources and they don't agree on what happened right now.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to have to look more into that. Maybe by next week we'll have more information, but that's quite a wild situation. Let's go to Brett from Chicago. Brett, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today?
Hey, David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, I'm glad to report from a winning part of the country in a few different ways. I mean, we just got the most progressive mayor in history elected here.
True.
And I'm also originally from Minnesota, and a lot of great things. I don't know if you've been hearing about that. A lot of great things have been coming out of like the Minnesota legislature recently.
I heard some. We covered one story. Yeah, I mean, so you're feeling good about the part of the country you're in, it sounds like.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm a member of the local YDSA here, the Democratic Socialists of America, and we were pretty excited. We didn't endorse Brandon Johnson directly because he's not like a socialist, but pretty heavily, I think he got support from our sector. A lot of activity going out and doing work on the ground, canvassing, talking to people at polling stations and that sort of thing.
So Brett, as an actual democratic socialist yourself, I'm curious, do you align with the socialist perspective of socializing ownership of businesses? Like, is that something businesses should be required to do by government?
I'm definitely on the, I guess you'd call it the more conservative side of the Democratic Socialists. It's a pretty big tent party. As far as like current, like practical boots on the ground activism, like what we're what we are advocating for isn't like, isn't normally that extreme, like turning all businesses into co-ops immediately through an executive order. I mean, a lot of people, again, in the organization would disagree with me on that.
Yeah. No, I'm just asking you, like, what would be your biggest socialist belief, would you say?
Yeah, I would say that, like, I would be in favor of things as extreme as probably like breaking up large corporations, making more things like publicly, not, publicly owned, like deprivatizing like infrastructure, things like that. I mean, like start with like the big things where it seems very reasonable that you and I would probably agree on, like public transport or things that like other countries socialize and socialize well. And then I would just probably keep moving forward on that until it stops being effective. But I feel
are
like
you sure you're a socialist? That's interesting. It's not. I mean, it sounds like you're more of like a social democrat, which is a form of capitalism.
Yeah. I mean, in the midterm, it seems to be that way. But like, I would like having the means of production being socialized, being owned, like large industries being collectively owned. That seems like a good thing to me. It's just how we get there. Like social democracy, like I'm an electoralist. I'm a slow, gradual movement. So in the short to medium term, I do look effectively like a social democrat.
So your view is sort of like that espoused by Ian VAUSH, the streamer, where he says in the immediate, really, socialists and social democrats probably would agree on the same policies. It's just that if they were achieved, then the socialists would want to go further.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm getting outed here for agreeing with VAUSH. So that's gonna be great if this ever winds away, because a lot of people in the DSA are not fans of his.
They're anti-VAUSH. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a big anti-VAUSH movement. Probably a big anti-David Pakman movement as well.
Oh, obviously. No, listen, there's no doubt there's an anti-David Pakman movement among the socialists. That's without a doubt. But
but before you let me go, David, I should like represent that I am more left in a way and actually ask you a somewhat difficult question, or at least it might not be difficult.
Okay, please.
Because you get a lot of criticism from the left, specifically on your coverage of South America and like Latin American politics. I'm sure you're aware.
No, I mean, I know years ago something about Bolivia, but I didn't know that was like an ongoing thing.
Oh, okay. So maybe you're not. Okay, so there are like a few things. It's not like massive, but like I would wonder if you have any updates on that one story you covered, because you got some heat from that in my circles anyway. When you covered I believe it was in Argentina, there was an assassination attempt, and the way you presented it was you were like very suspicious of it and like kind of suggesting that it may have been something like a false flag, or like that it wasn't a real assassination attempt, and this was pretty like immediate after the
no,
event.
I think I mean that was a while ago. I don't know if I didn't speak clearly or if maybe you're misremembering it or I am, but it was more the idea that that sort of hijinks is the stuff I wouldn't put past Christina, but I was very, very clear that it was not something I was asserting took place, or I mean I was super clear that it's merely speculative and that there are people wondering about it, but that it was such an, offhanded thing. I wasn't putting a lot of stock in it. I wasn't trying to convince anyone of that. I mean, no, it was just it's just casual conversation.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah. Some people get pretty antsy about like that sort of speculation with, because people are because they're like the slightly more left party in the country, like center left.
I mean, listen, I'll be honest. What I can tell you is I think Christina's completely out of her mind. I mean, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I don't know if you've been following her recently, but seems completely disconnected from reality. But that's probably a story for another day.
Okay, sure enough. Well, thank you very much for having me on, David.
All right, Brett from Chicago, worried about agreeing with Ian VAUSH. Hopefully he doesn't get in trouble.